Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Today you are going to see me introduce this episode twice because right now I'm recording a little clip to put at the beginning of this episode because I'm happy to announce that there is going to be a second Hermitcraft World Tour. Now for those of you that don't know what the Hermitcraft World Tour is, it's where we put the server onto a second server and we open it up to the public and let you guys join. And that'll just be for a couple of hours while we're live streaming the whole thing, and it's actually going to happen tonight, so I'm really sorry about the short notice. Last time we were able to give you about a week's notice, but yeah, fortunately I couldn't do it any quicker this time because things have just been a little frantic with organising. But it should happen around 11 PM GMT, and there'll be a link in the description box if you want to know what time that is in your time zone. There'll be like a time zone converter and you can find out if you'll be around. So if you want to watch the stream, I'll be live streaming, that's for sure. Some other people will be as well. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll announce when the live stream starts. It should be around 11 PM GMT, and then we'll be telling you what you need to do to come on the server in the live stream. So I hope to see you there. And now you're going to see me introduce this episode again because, as I said, I've just recorded this little clip. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I've just finished doing all of this up here. We now have a really nice area that's really clean looking, and let me just show you around it quickly. There you go, that looks awesome. And it was night time a moment ago. This thing doesn't look too great at night, but when the sun comes up and the sky is blue, it's really nice to be up here. So one of the things that I had to do was ditch the idea with the daylight sensors. I didn't really want to be running a load of redstone around the place. I want to keep this as clean and simple as possible, which is what we've done. And so now all of this is lit. There was actually spiders spawning down here because they can spawn in a one high gap. And then what I've done here with the hoppers is divided it up, not in the center but just over a bit. So all of these hoppers here point to this side and those ones go over there. And you can see they just go around the corner like that, and then to that one, and then they go around the back here as well, around like that. So we pulled them out into this area so they're not in the way of everything in the middle. They're on either side of this area where you can store all your items. So we've got loads of trap chests and chests next to each other here. And what's cool about this is we've got, I think, 8 in a row here and then another 4 back here. And you can just put more chests on top if you really need the extra space. But I imagine once these chests start filling up, you're probably going to be throwing away stuff like rotted flesh. And so that is one more thing that we need to work on up here really, is getting in a filtering system so we can get rid of particular items, but I've got a feeling that's going to be quite complex, so I'm going to have to do some brainstorming with Red Eyes at another time. And of course we've still got work to do up here, but this episode I've got some other things in mind, so I'm going to be heading over to the Nether hub. I've got some investigating to do over there, and while I head over there actually I just want to ask you all a question. The other day I live streamed and then I decided to upload that to YouTube, so you got a 2-hour video on Monday. And I don't think I want to make the live streams part of my schedules. I don't know who's done this. In fact, why don't we just go see where this goes. But I'm thinking that what I'll do is after I live stream, I'll just upload the video to YouTube. Then anyone who wants to see it can do so. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments. And this actually takes us to where I wanted to do my investigating. I wonder who dug that tunnel, because it's Topmas who's been working on his gentleman's club down here. And I really hope no ghasts spawn and start shooting at me, because it would be a shame for all of this to burn down. And what I wanted to investigate was a bottomless pit, which I do believe is under here. There it is. If I go down there, I'm not going to get back out. Actually, we'll just use the netherrack. The reason that I wanted to investigate this is because apparently there's loads of chickens at the bottom, which would be my fault. So I need to undo that. And can we see them yet? I can see some bedrock. Do you know what? I think Topmas fell down here and he killed them all. Yeah, they're not loading or anything like that, so I'm going to guess that there are no chickens down the bottom here. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if you'd like that. As I said, it's not going to be part of my schedule. It'll just be whenever I upload, I will then upload that to... whenever I live stream. Just realised what I said. Whenever I live stream, I will also upload it to YouTube. So while we're over here, we should have a check actually and see if we've had any customers at the TNT shop, although I don't think we will because I forgot to tell people it was actually here. Yep, no customers, although I dropped a message in the Skype earlier, so maybe in the next few days people will come over and maybe buy some TNT from me. But Topmas also gave me an idea as well. He was talking about his gentleman's club in his LP, and he said that he wanted to have some music in there and jukeboxes and such. So what I was thinking of doing is opening up another shop like the TNT one where you just have the pixel art, because then it's just really obvious what's on sale, and do one with like a music disc on the front. We could possibly do it in that space there. And yeah, just sell the records. I've got loads back at Avalon. It would also give me a reason to start up that XP farm again and get some more records, and then we could just bring them over here, dump them in a chest, and then sell them off cheap. And we could give Matt a jukebox and encourage him to come to the shop as well, maybe do something like that. But I've got something that I want to do back over at my base, something that I want to show you and talk about. So we'll head back over there and maybe we'll work on getting some more records. So what I wanted to talk to you about was the witch farm. Now, I spent a lot of time, you can obviously see, working on this, and it's not that I've become dispirited, I just felt like taking a break on this. But the thing that's kind of annoyed me a little bit is just the rates are not that great, and I've been thinking the reason why is because I stand over here, and when I'm standing here the area is sort of spherical. No, someone corrected me on this, it is spherical. There we go, that's the correct way to say that. The area of spawning is spherical around the player. So the whole time that I've been doing this, we've marked the border, the whole half slabbing and caving directly around the witch farm, but not around where the player stands. So I think there's lots of caves off in that direction and land that you can see there as well. There's probably some mobs out there that are affecting the rates of this. Now, the talking that I've been having with Red Eyes lately about mob spawners has got me thinking about how we could improve this witch farm. And I think what we should do is build like a base up in the sky above there that's about 40 blocks away from the top of the witch farm, and then that makes this area very optimal distance from the player, because that's going to be just outside the area where they can't spawn, and that's where they're least likely to despawn. Now, the further away from the player the mob is, it's more likely to despawn, so this is going to fall away from us, meaning there's a slightly increased chance that they'll despawn, but I think it's not going to be anything major. I think maybe once or twice out of thousands of witches dropping down, one will actually despawn, so yeah, very slim chance of that actually happening. So that's the only flaw with the idea that I have of going up here, but I think it could be really good. We could perhaps even build a structure around here, something large scale, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, is build, I don't know, any sort of building that's large scale and outside of my comfort zone. So this, I feel like here could be a great way to take what we've already done and turn it into something even better. And we could put the Nether portal up the top there as well. And yeah, it'd just be really great. As soon as you go through the Nether portal, you're in the perfect spot to AFK. Although all your items will go down to the bottom, we could easily transfer them with some sort of I don't know, dropper setup that sends all of the items upwards to the top. So I think there's a lot of potential for that idea. I'm going to take some time to think about it, and I wanted to put it in this episode. Hey look, someone's escaped. Now they've gone swimming. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that idea out there because I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas. And then when I read through the comments I can get a better idea of what it is that I want to do. But I am also going to give myself some time to think about that. But it feels like a real good opportunity to, you know, finish this project off and also build a structure, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And the other idea that I thought was we could even have a mob spawner up in the sky as well, and then we have a witch farm, all the drops from that and from a regular mob spawner as well. But I'm thinking long term there. I'd really like to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. So there is something else that I want to talk about. If you remember a while ago, a couple of episodes ago even, I done the troll at the beginning with the placing down of the yellow wall, turning around, and then it was a diamond block. Well, I tell you, there were a lot of comments, people were saying that I edited that. It was not edited at all. I actually got the idea from doing that after trying to do this, and this is supposed to be an animated flag. I saw a video on Reddit where someone had done this, and I thought that they'd used animated textures. So what I did is I went into a test world and I made 7 of these, and then I kind of animated them frame by frame, and then I made textures for each one where the block would have no texture whatsoever, and then it would have the wall block color. So how it would work is, the idea was that it would disappear for a moment and then reappear, and they'd all be timed together so it'd look like it was waving around it in the wind, which it kind of does, except it's invisible. I even got Dinnerbone to come on here and check this out, and basically what happens when you take a non-transparent block and don't give it a texture, it's going to sort of x-ray into the blocks that you have behind. I should have brought one of these to do a little test, but I can just break this. I'm going to take this apart now anyway. It was a nice little experiment, but unfortunately it didn't work. So if I just place this down here in the ground, then when it goes invisible, I picked the wrong one there, it's hardly ever invisible. Some of them are invisible all the time. That's actually giving me a headache looking at that. Look, there's a sheep. So yeah, that was how I got the idea for the troll. It wasn't edited, it was done with a texture pack. It was just about timing. It actually only took me one attempt to get it right. I done one attempt where I got the timing wrong on the texture pack, and then I made it a little bit longer, done a second recording, and when I turned around it was a diamond block, which I thought was awesome. But it's a shame that we can't see through those blocks, because otherwise I could have had a flag. This is how I was going to introduce you to an episode. I was going to be like, oh look, I built a flag and it's waving in the wind, but yeah, unfortunately we can't do that. So what are we going to do this episode? We've done enough talking about all the other little bits and bobs. What I want to do is continue working on the forest, and I want to branch off this path in this direction into this little area here that I've been clearing out. Now, we've got a pond in our way, but I think we're actually going to keep that, maybe make it a bit bigger and have the path go through the middle, and then it will lead off in this direction to the village, which is going to leave us a bit of space on this side. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. But on the other side, what I'm thinking of building is an AFK fishing farm. Now, this was something that Redim and a guy called Admiral Redstone worked on, and not together though, just the whole videos, being able to feed off of other people's ideas. Yeah, so Redim had this thing where you could detect if you've catched a fish using tripwire, and then Admiral Redstone added a piston with a trapdoor in front of it that allowed you to sort of farm AFK, and I think I might be able to add another little innovation to that, which Simply Sark came up with. So lots of people here in the community contributing to this idea. I'm yet to test it out though, but there is a trick to use the F10. I'm not sure actually what F10 does. Let's press that. Oh, okay, that kind of pauses and let me move my mouse around, and then I press it again. Did not know that. Okay, so I don't know if you could see my cursor moving around then, but if we use that and we assign the click key to a keyboard key, what we can do is get the game to think we're clicking when we're not, and then we can leave the computer alone. So what I'm thinking of doing is building their farm and then using Simply Sark's little F10 trick, and then we should be able to set it up so that it automatically fishes for us, and then we can just leave the computer alone and get loads of fish. So I'm going to be working on building that, and let's hope it all goes to plan. Okay, I haven't built the fishing farm just yet. I've been working on the area beforehand. This is looking good. But one important thing about it is that it's nice and open. And I got a comment in the previous video about how this is all too closed in. And do you know what? I really like it when it's closed in, but what we need is a balance of both. So over here, we've gone for something much more open, and I think the pond has helped us do that. So at the bottom of the pond, we've got lots of sand, some redstone lamps to illuminate it at night, a few lily pads around here, and when I was putting them down I was just wondering if perhaps we should remove all of this gravel and place lily pads down on it, so you'd have like a little lily pad walkway over to the other side. That could look really cool. And then over in this area here, I think this is just going to stay as it is at the moment. I put down some long grass and pumpkins for lighting, and when you're standing down here you can see a lot of the orange, but from up above you don't really get to see too much of it, so that works out nicely. And again, this is all kind of open. I might replant a couple of trees over here. I think what I want to have is a natural barrier between the village area and the forest area. So there'll probably be a row of trees along here and just more garden area on that side. And so over here is going to be where the witch farm? Fishing farm is, just over here. And we've got this nice low trees over here with the leaves. You've got the wood behind it, and then the long grass in front. I think that looks really nice. And then there's a little gap over here where you can see through to the path over there, so I might remove a couple of leaves from there, so when you look through from that side you can get a glimpse of the fishing area, which is going to go right here. I don't think it needs to be too big, maybe 3 or 4 wide, about 8 blocks long, so it won't be that big at all. And then the tree line is great here because we've got 2 big trees in the middle, and then the tree line's kind of level around here. We're going to put in a few more trees there to cover up the sugarcane, and then we've got this nice open gap here with a view of the other part of the island. And then the tree line that we have here on this side I think just needs to be reinforced and bring it all the way over to where the village is and have some more gardening area in front of it, and then we have this nice open area with a pond and a fishing farm. Okay, I built the fishing farm and it turns out not to be what I expected. It's quite often that you watch something in a video and you kind of put a few things together yourself because you're not shown all the information. In this video I kind of took a few things for granted. I thought the idea was that you held down right click and it done everything for you, but what you actually do is throw your line out like that and then hold right click like this, and basically it stops you from pulling the bob back in, and then when this catches a fish down the end here, which I'm not actually sure when that is, it's going to go down a little bit and it's going to stop the redstone circuit, so this thing stops you from doing that, and then you pull in the fish. So you can't really automate it fully. I did manage to catch one raw fish, but in the video it's obviously edited to show you it when it's working, and oh, okay, that was strange, and I was doing this for ages and not getting any fish. So it's really not as good as I thought it was, which is a real shame, but I guess that's just Minecraft sometimes, isn't it? So I'm going to find something else to do this episode. I'm not sure exactly what, because this is what I really wanted to do, get an automatic fishing farm and then try out the F10 trick, which by the way is reassigning a key for the right click. So we'd have a key doing that, and then when we press F10 and press it again when we're pressing that key, the game is going to think that we're still pressing that key, so we can just leave it alone and it would continuously do this, except yeah, it doesn't work because I misunderstood what the machine was doing. So I was going to give up on this, and then I saw a video from my friend H who had done the same thing as we had before, except he used a door instead of the trapdoor here. So that made it quieter, because when you're right clicking on this it makes a ton of noise, but when you're using a door it doesn't. So that was a pretty cool little innovation, but it sparked off an idea. It made me think that perhaps we could control when this, well, it would have been a door, but what I've done is tested it with this. When this retracts and extends again, if you can get the timing right, then maybe you'll be able to cast another throw like that, and then you'll be clicking on it again, then you catch a fish and it gives you just enough time to cast the line. Now I've been doing lots of testing here, trying standing in different positions, because one of the things that I realised is that this has a shape to it, and the closer I stand to this side, when it retracts and extends again, I'm going to hit that part of the block quicker than if I were to stand over here, because the distance adds to the time. So I've been doing all sorts of things like standing close to it, standing back, standing on half slabs to the left and the right. Can't seem to get the timing done with this. I've been doing lots of different times as well with multiple repeaters, and sometimes one like this. And I'm kind of getting annoyed because testing this takes so long, because you have to wait for the fish to be caught, and I've only catched 7. I started just casting the line and then pulling it back in and just trying to simulate it like that, and I've had no luck, and there goes another fishing rod. So at the moment I'm thinking that I just want to share this idea with everyone. H actually sent me his solution. He came up with the answer to this, one that actually worked, but the redstone was fairly bulky, complex, and I don't know, I felt like maybe it could be simpler. So what I want to do is test this with a door, and if I don't have any luck with that, I'm probably going to give it up, but maybe some of you will have ideas as well on how to do this, and I'm sure I'm going to see H's video on how to do it at some point, and then I'll probably rebuild his redstone. But it wouldn't fit in here. I don't want a lot of redstone really, which is, I don't know, it's kind of pointless because it'll get the job done, but at the same time I like how we don't have many exposed redstone things in this little foresty area, so that kind of put me off building it. Plus he just sent me a couple of pictures, so that always makes things more likely to fail and rebuild it wrong. So I'm going to do a bit more testing on this with a door. Well, I've spent far too long testing this. It's just about the same results when using the iron door, although when you catch the fish and you reel it in, you cast the line back out again, and it seems to actually stay out there for a second and then it casts again, which is really annoying because that's after the door's actually shut. So I think what's happening is when you cast that second line, it's not casting properly, and then it will go out here, hit something, or I don't know, and then it will uncast itself. So now is actually the best time to be testing because it's raining. But I've had enough. I've spent way too much time on this, and we really need to crack on with what we want to do around in this area. So I'm looking forward to see H if he puts out a video on this, so I can actually get this finished. Maybe I'll copy the redstone and try and disguise it with some leaves or something like that. But what I want to do now, I think, is just finish up this area around here. I want to work on this tree line down the bottom here, and I might make it so it's a little further back and give myself some room to put in another farm, because that's what we're doing in this area. We're having a nice little foresty area and lots of farms, so it looks like, oh, got to be careful, there's lava there. Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of space to move these trees over. Actually, we could move them all the way over here out to where the sand starts. And actually, one of the things I wanted to do when I was looking around here the other day was make it so that the sand goes all the way around the side at a sort of, not a set height, but, you know, like consistently, because it breaks up in patches there. So maybe that's something else I'll do. Make this all nice and sandy, bring the tree line out to the front here, and we'll definitely make a couple of viewing spots. We've got a view of that bit over there, and then we'll have another one perhaps over here with a nice view of the ocean. I haven't done anything. I've just realised that I've hardly done anything this episode. I spent way too much time fishing, and now I've actually changed my mind about doing this. I still want to do it. I still want to do the making of the beach and the terraforming and removing these trees and redoing this part of the island. But the idea that I've had is to do it with the cameraman, so we can put a second computer up in the sky looking down over this area here. Now I don't think you'd be able to get all of it in one shot, so what I thought I could do is have my cameraman slowly rotate over time from one side around over to this side here, and then I could figure out roughly how long I think it's going to take me to do all of that. And I've got dual screens as well, and I can plug my second computer into it, so I could actually play Minecraft on one screen and watch me from above on the second, which would be really interesting. And then try and time it so when the camera goes around, I can move from working on this side over here, you know, chop down all the trees, do the terraforming. I'm going to move some of this grass out and then have sand in front of it, and that's probably where the tree line will be. Smooth it all out around there as well. And yeah, just do it as a time lapse, and I can't do that right now really. It's it'll take a while to set that up and copy all the files across, and I need to finish up this episode so I can render it and upload it to YouTube. So I feel quite bad when an episode goes this way. There's stuff that I want to talk about and I talk too much and I don't do enough, but do you know what? Once in a while it's alright. Usually I just get in the zone and continue building and all sorts of things. So there's one other thing actually I could mention I've just thought of while I'm over here. The whole donations thing. I don't really like to push donations or anything like that. I've seen it done by other people in the past, you know, but some people have been kind enough to donate, so I felt like there's something that I should do for them, and that's building these houses. But the point with that is it's not really a case of you donate and you get a house. It's just over time I'll build some more things around here, and this is my way of saying thank you, because I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. The money has been contributed to computer upgrades and all sorts of things that help the channel and make the videos better. So I had someone recently who was under the impression that you donate and then you get a house built, like in the next episode or something. So I just wanted to clear that up because I felt quite bad. I did try to explain to them that what I do is I list all the people that have donated, and then whenever I feel like working on this again, that next house becomes theirs. I just put a little name thing in. And I still want to do the project here where we build up all the buildings, but at the moment I'm just focused on the forest, and when we get that finished, it's going to be like the buffer between the area where the sugar cane is, our little hub, and then the pathway that leads over to the animal breeding area. So that's like a border. Then we have the forest area, and then on this side of the island we have the villager project. And I think doing it like that's actually going to really be worthwhile over time, having it split into sections, because it means the other section that we have over the other side, that's another big area of land that I've had ideas for, like building some big tree farms or something like that. And then we have a natural divide, well, it's not really natural, but we have another divider where the mob farm is. In fact, we have quite a few dividers, you see. We've got this land over here, then we've got the mob farm, which isn't loading, come on. Yeah, we've got the mob farm, the tube that takes all the mobs down to the bit there, and that creates a natural divider across that area. And then you've got the hills over there, so there's another area down there, and then the other side of that there's a nice flat area. There's one other area as well that we don't get to see too much on the island, and that is all the way over here. Yeah, that little island bit over there, I never really thought about what to do with it, so there's another little section that we could do something with. And we've got the flat area over that end where we built the sheep farm, and then small little circular part over on the left. So everything's all kind of been naturally divided up, and I think we should play to that. We should really do things like that, which is what I'm doing with the forest here. So yeah, a little rambling about my ideas for the future of Avalon, which I'm really keen to make progress with, and I shouldn't have really spent so much time fishing. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.